He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it from Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McConnell's on touchdown.
Frazier wins it. The championship.
It's the hottest ticket in town. It's Roselle Catholic and Manasquan to kick off your 2023 here on the D1 Media Pro page on the National Federation of High School Sports. Welcome in everybody inside Manasquan High School for this big-time New Jersey boys basketball showdown. I'm Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Matthew Kaufman, and we thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon. Matthew, these are two New Jersey powerhouses, Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. This should be an outstanding game in front of a sold-out crowd.
Absolutely, and you said it, Kevin, two powerhouses of teams. Both of these teams come in off a win. You got to look at these two teams, though, offensively. Guys putting up a bunch of points. Mackenzie Mbako this season, 14 points, total of 43 altogether. And then you look on the other side for Manasquan, Darius Williams, who's putting up unbelievable numbers, 95 total points already this season. And coming off a 3-game winning streak right now is Manasquan.
Manasquan is riding that 3-game winning streak. They absolutely rolled through their holiday tournament earlier this week. As for Roselle Catholic, they were at a significant disadvantage. They dropped their first 3 games of the year, but let's explain why they're at the disadvantage. Because of the NJSIAA state regulations, Roselle Catholic wasn't able to start their season until mid-December. They played teams like Sunrise Christian and Gonzaga Prep and Duncansville, teams that have already been midway through the points of their season, and Roselle Catholic, with a lot of new faces, transfers coming in, they're still trying to find that chemistry on the floor. And if you throw Roselle Catholic, a team that was projected to be one of the best in the country this year, against those other teams that are the best in the nation, they're at a significant disadvantage, and that's what happened in their 3 losses to begin the year. However, they got back on track last week with a victory at Rutgers over the Patrick School.
Yeah, you said it. You know, the big disadvantage, as you mentioned, Kevin, starting a season a little later than everybody else, it's not going to help you offensively, especially with a bigger group like they have. These are two teams that are going to be battling it out all afternoon today. And for this team, for Roselle Catholic, that got off to a bad start, coming off a win, they need to get bounced back and continue their winning ways.
Yeah, it's just startling looking at our graphic right there and seeing a 1-3 next to Roselle Catholic on our graphics screen. Well, we still got a whole lot more to come here from Manasquan. We got keys to the game, players to watch, and starting lineups with tip-off to follow in about 8 minutes here from Manasquan. It's the top-ranked Roselle Catholic Lions against the 11th-ranked Manasquan Big Blue Warriors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on D1 Media Pro.
Glover, one-on-one with the basket. Oh, Jaden Glover! With the windmill to send this place into a frenzy.
To the corner, Lawrence. No-look pass, and Wilcher lays it in.
Wilcher to the hole. Simeon Wilcher starting to heat up. He's got 4 points, and Roselle Catholic leads by 11.
Watson to his brother, and Tariq is fouled and hits it. They'll go to the line for 1.
They'll pick it up, the clock will move. Lawrence with Adams on him, lost his footing, gets a shot up, and he gets it to go. At the buzzer, Jamarcus Lawrence, a big first quarter for the Nebraska commit.
Welcome back here to Manasquan High School, the home of the Big Blue Warriors. We're counting down to tip-off here between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan to start your new year off right. I'm Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Matthew Kaufman. Actually, we started your new year off right yesterday when we had 7 games in the New Year's jump off, and they were outstanding games out at Patterson Catholic. It was capped off by Bergen Catholic and Rutgers Prep, but the game of the day might have come a little bit earlier with DePaul Catholic taking down Teaneck in double overtime. However, we have a top 15 matchup right in front of our eyes here this afternoon. It's number 1 Roselle Catholic in the state of New Jersey against 11th ranked Manasquan. And let's take a look at your keys to the game here for both these teams. Let's start first, the visiting Lions of Roselle Catholic. First, you want to manage the crowd. It's a true road game here for the Lions. This is a sold-out Manasquan High School. In fact, Matthew, there are people outside waiting to get in, hoping that people who bought tickets for this game, which was originally scheduled to be on December 23rd and got postponed due to inclement weather, that they don't show up and they have a chance to get in the gym for this game today. Yeah, you mentioned the crowd noise. It is electric. We just watched the end of that JV game between these two teams. There are people, as you said, outside. That's how big this game is, not just for Manasquan as a home team, but for both of these teams today. Also for Roselle Catholic, they have the easy size mismatch. They're bigger and they're stronger and they're more physical than this Manasquan team. They have to establish the paint early. As for Manasquan, when you're an underdog in your home gym, you want to be hot from distance. And that's what Manasquan's going to have to do here today, led by their 2 star guards, Darius Adams and Ryan Fahrenheim. Also, you want to stay out of foul trouble. Just mentioned how Roselle Catholic is bigger than this Manasquan team. You want to stay out of foul trouble. You want your 5 best players out on the floor at all times. You don't want to go deep into your bench, into your 9th, 10th, and 11th guys in a game like this. Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the foul troubles. You have established that early. If you could stay away from the fouls, you keep Roselle Catholic off the free throw line, and that's going to help you in the long run when it comes down to the later points in the game. All right, Matt, now let's take a look at some of your players to watch here for today's game. For me, we're going to start with Roselle Catholic. We're going to go Mackenzie Mbako, who this season we mentioned earlier in the opening, 43 total points. He's got 14 points from 2-point range. He's been a beast in the paint. Then you look at the other side of Manasquan. We're going to look at Darius Adams, the sophomore. And, this season, a total of 95 points in the amount of games he's played. 7 points from the free throw line, or from 3-point line, and then 11 from the paint. These are 2 guys that I think today are going to have a big impact early in this game and when it comes down to the end. Well, we're going to find out in just about 5 minutes' time. We'll step aside for one last break. We'll be back here for starting lineups, give you the pregame introductions, and then it's tip-off between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan here on D1 Media Pro. Welcome back here to Manasquan High School, getting set for tip-off between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. Kevin Connolly, Matthew Kaufman, Joseph Henry with you here live from Manasquan High School. Well, Matt, we just went through keys to the game and players to watch. Now let's give everybody what they really want to see, the starting lineups here for today's game. Roselle Catholic's going to roll out their original starting 5. It'll be Sebastian Robinson, Simeon Wilcher, Mackenzie Mbako, and then the Watson brothers, Akil and Tariq down low. Yeah. As you said before, these guys early in this game for Roselle Catholic, the size ability that they have and the strength that they have, if these guys as a starting group could get off to a hot start, it's going to be a long day for Manasquan. As obviously, Simeon Wilcher headed to North Carolina next year, Mackenzie Mbako headed to Duke next year, and Akil Watson headed to Arizona State next fall. Now let's take a look at the starters for Manasquan and the Big Blue Warriors. They'll lead it off with their star, Darius Adams, Ryan Fahrenheim, their veteran gritty guard. And then in the front court, you'll have Griffin Linstra, Quinn Peters, and Alex Conniff.
Yeah, as you said, that big guard in front of him, this is a team that doesn't have as much size as Roselle Catholic does, but if they can rely on these guys early in this game in the paint, especially the bigger guys, this is going to be a good game for Manasquan.
Just take a look at the crowd here for today's game. Told you it's sold out. The student section is raring to go. Matt, you brought up in that JV game, they were getting into it down the stretch. Roselle Catholic winning that JV game in overtime. This gym is on fire here for this game. It's arguably the biggest home game of the season for Manasquan. I know they have a couple of big-time home games upcoming. You have your conference opponents, but when the number one team in the state comes to your home gym, you're going to have this place sold out, and that's what they do. That's what they have here tonight. This gym was anticipated to be sold out for the December 23rd game, but again, that was postponed due to inclement weather, and it gets moved to a matinee here on January 2nd. It should be a fun one here between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. One more break before starting lineups here on D1 Media Pro. Welcome back here to Manasquan High School, getting set for tip between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. Kevin Connolly, Matt Kaufman, Joseph Henry with you live here from Manasquan High School. We're going to bring you live to the floor for the national anthem and starting lineups to be played here from Manasquan High School.
At this time, please rise and wear your hats to honor America and those who support our freedoms at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
We're just about ready to go here between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. Now we'll go live to the floor for the introductions of the starting lineups. First for the visiting Roselle Catholic Lions. Well, I don't think they have the right starters at the scorers table for Roselle Catholic. Nope, they really don't have the right starters for Roselle Catholic at the scorers table. They're naming everybody except the starting five. So while they try and figure out the starters over there at the scorers table, we'll let you know what the starters are once again. It's Sebastian Robinson, Simeon Wilcher, Mackenzie Mbako, Akil Watson, and Tariq Watson. Maybe they're just going through the reserves first. I think that seems like what they're doing first. I think they're going for the entire roster. And now here's the starting lineup for Roselle Catholic. They got us there for a second, Matt. They got us there for a second. There you see Sebastian Robinson, the transfer from Elizabeth over to the Roselle Catholic team, and immediately right into the starting lineup. There's Simeon Wilcher, the senior North Carolina product. Akil Watson, the senior Arizona State product. Tariq Watson, a junior 4-star recruit for Roselle Catholic, and then really the transfer that came in and really lifting this Roselle Catholic program back to the expectations of winning a state championship. And they can't repeat as the Tournament of Champions because there is no TOC this year, but Mackenzie Mbako, transfer from Gil St. Bernard's and headed to Duke next year. Now the starting lineup for Manasquan. So again, they'll start with their reserves before announcing their starting lineup. Roselle Catholic led by their head coach Dave Boff, as you see him greeting all the Manasquan players at midcourt. Manasquan led by their head coach Andrew Bilodeau. And now the starting lineup here for the Big Blue Warriors. Griffin Lintra. And you look at this Manasquan team, Matt, they're very young. Obviously Ryan Farnheim a junior, but you look at Darius Adams a sophomore, Griffin Lintra a sophomore, Alex Kanov a junior, Quinn Peters is a senior. But this is a young team. They proved themselves last year, and now they're just looking to take that next step forward in their development. Yeah, you mentioned this young team, and, you know, that gives Manasquan some years behind these guys, time for these guys to grow. You mentioned how good they've been in the last 3 games earlier today. This is a team and an opportunity for these young guys to continue to develop in what they already have going for them. And there's, once again, the starting lineups. Darius Adams, Ryan Farnheim, Griffin Linstra, Quinn Peters, and Alex Kanov. Well, all the talking is done. Now it's time to play some basketball. It's Roselle Catholic and Manasquan here from a sold-out gym at Manasquan High School. Roselle Catholic will be in their road blacks. Manasquan in their home whites. Once again, head coaches in this game for Roselle Catholic. They are led by head coach Dave Boff. As for Manasquan, Andrew Bilodeau will lead the way for the Big Blue Warriors on their bench. These two teams played last year up in Roselle inside the Lions Den. Roselle Catholic came away with a comfortable victory after Manasquan really pressed them for about 2.5 quarters. Yeah, you said press them at the end for those 2 quarters. You know, this is a Roselle Catholic team that if they could get off to the hot start that they're looking to get off and continue with the momentum from last game, this is an opportunity to move forward and to forget about the beginning of the season when they really struggled and to get this team back on the winning ways of what they want to be at. Once again, starters Robinson, Wilcher, Tariq, and Akil Watson, and Mackenzie Mbako will jump it up at center for the Lions. For Manasquan, Ryan Farnheim, Darius Adams are the 2 in the backcourt. Griffin Linstra, Alex Kanov, and Quinn Peters are in the front court. It'll be Mbako and Kanov to jump it up in the middle. Roselle Catholic in black. Manasquan is in white. And let's play some hoops here down the shore in New Jersey. Mbako wins the tip. Wilcher controls. And off we go here from Manasquan as Akil Watson finds his brother Tariq, who finishes right at the rim. And that's such a good move right there. Go right inside to the basket, get these points early to start this game for Roselle Catholic. Told you the size mismatch. Down low in favor of Roselle Catholic. And you see it there, Tariq Watson finishing off the assist from his brother Akil. Outside 3, too strong. That was Kanov. Long rebound tracked down by Farnheim. Akil Watson draws the assignment on Darius Adams. He gets into the lane. Can't get the shot to go. Rebound tipped around and controlled by Quinn Peters.
And that's good to recover that almost turnover there for this Manasquan offense.
3 tries on offense for Manasquan. No points as Simeon Wilcher to the hole. Can't get it to go, and Adams pulls down the board. Fahrenheim thought about the transition 3. He'll get it right back. Now he tries for 3, and Manasquan's on the board.
And you can hear immediately the crowd reaction to that big 3. That's how you want to start this game. Get this crowd into it, help your offense, and help this defense as well later on.
Tariq Watson, the nice up and under.
Perfect movement right there to the basket for Watson.
Tariq Watson, all 4 of Roselle Catholic's points here in the early going. Fahrenheim finds Adams, he gets free, and he can't hit the 3-pointer as the rebound's tipped into the hands of Tariq Watson. Out to Akil, and Akil is undercut from behind, but he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Now that's an important miss right there. You know, you're going to get those foul shots anyway, but that's a big miss, and you want to get that shot early in this kind of game. Set your feet in the paint early.
Akil Watson goes to the line for 2. Foul was on Darius Adams, his first.
And you could already hear the crowd here at the free throw line.
And Watson calmly knocks down the first free throw. Roselle Catholic still yet to play in its home opener, believe it or not, this year. Started off in the Bahamas, then went out to the Bronx to play a game. Played down at Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway on Rutgers' campus, and now their first true road game of the year here against Manasquan. They'll return home later this week to play Arts in the Iverson Classic at the Lions Den. Adams, Fahrenheim, got another 3.
That's great ball movement here by Manasquan early in this game.
That's how Manasquan's going to pull off this upset. The 1-2 punch of Adams and Fahrenheim. Tariq Watson gets doubled down low. A lot of contact. No whistle. Gets his own miss. And now he'll go to the line.
And going back to that, you look at Griffin Lindster right now talking to the referee. He wanted a foul before. He looked like it got hit in the face. No foul was called. And he was over there talking to the referees pretty much that entire possession for Roselle Catholic.
So after Akil Watson just split a pair at the line, Tariq Watson goes to the charity stripe. The foul was on Quinn Peters, his first, team second, as Tariq misses the first free throw. One for 2 goes Tariq Watson, and we're knotted at 6 over 2 minutes played in this first half.
And if you're Manasquan here, you don't want to rush anything. You want to take your time.
Nice backdoor find to Adams, who couldn't finish. The tip by Peters, no good. And it's Mackenzie Mbako who pulls down the board. Wilcher rises for 3 in the corner, no good. Weak side rebound by Sebastian Robinson. Watson now tries his luck for 3, and the high arcing triple falls.
And that's the ability of these taller guys for Roselle Catholic, able to get those rebounds right off the boards, and that helps them early in this game, as we could see.
Conniff can't answer. Offensive rebound and the putback from Linstra.
That's a great job by Linstra, able to get right back on that basketball.
Akil Watson, with his foot on the gas, drives to the rim, and he's going to go back to the free throw line. Fouls on Alex Conniff. 3rd team foul for Manasquan, but in their favor, all 3 fouls are on different players. It's Adams, Conniff, and Peters, who all have a foul as the first free throw rattles in for Akil Watson. Now 2 for 3 from the stripe. He'll have one more as we got our first substitution of the day. It's Mike Flanagan checking into the game for Manasquan. And again, 1 for 2 at the line from Akil Watson. Tariq the rebound, couldn't finish at the rim, and Flanagan grabs the loose ball.
If you're Manasquan here, you got to be able to control the basketball. Keep it out of the red-hot hands right now of Roselle Catholic.
Robinson on Fahrenheim. He'll look to drive. Tough floater, and it goes.
Beautiful shot there for this team early in this game.
8 points for Ryan Fahrenheim. Roselle Catholic back underneath to Tariq Watson, and he finishes. Watson feasting for the Lions. He's got 7. And all of Roselle Catholic points coming from the Watson brothers. Tariq with 5, or Tariq with 7, excuse me. Akil with 5.
Brothers tag team working early here for Roselle Catholic, as you mentioned, Kevin.
Adams driving reverse, blocked by Wilcher, but the ball came right into the hands of Lindstrom. And a timeout called by Manasquan. 4 minutes into this first quarter, and a good one shaping up between the Lions and the Big Blue Warriors. Deadlocked at 12. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Like
12-12, Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. Big Blue Warriors burn a timeout. It'll be Roselle Catholic basketball. Rich Briscoe and Christian Pierre-Louis check into the game for the Lions following that timeout. And now Manasquan trying to shore up their defense down low, comes out in a 2-3 zone. So an early adjustment here from Andrew Bilodeau. Watson on the drive, offensive foul.
That's a great job staying in there, taking that foul, giving your team the ball back from Manasquan.
So Akil Watson hit for the offensive foul, just the first foul on Roselle Catholic.
And you mentioned it earlier, Kevin, stay away from the fouls. Right now, Roselle Catholic is doing just that.
Pierre-Louis, the defensive stalwart on Fahrenheim. Nice feed down low. That's a tough shot. Briscoe altered the miss as Mbako pulls down the board. Now it's Watson, cross court to Wilcher. Wilcher driving, elbow pull up, can't get the roll. Adams the rebound and a foul underneath.
And you're looking right now at the toughness of this Manasquan team. Staying in there, taking the fouls, getting in what they could get against this Roselle Catholic defense right now.
Foul goes on Christian Pierre-Louis, his first. 3:09 left to play in the first quarter. Konov, the step back. The three way off. Adams, the rebound. Feeds down low. One extra pass came too far, but Fahrenheim catches it in stride, and he's got his third three of the game.
Beautiful shot there, and a great job by Adams to get the rebound and put it right into the hands for that big-time three in this game.
Fahrenheim up to 11 points as Mbako drives. Kick out for Wilcher, trying to respond. He can't. Offensive rebound, Pierre-Louis. Briscoe down low, and Rich Briscoe on the score sheet with 2 points. One-point Manasquan lead here on their home floor. 2:15 left to play in the first quarter. Nothing doing here for Manasquan offensively. If you're new to New Jersey high school basketball, no shot clock. Fahrenheim, that's a heat check, left it short. Pierre-Louis, the long rebound. Out to Watson. Watson is fouled. Can't get the shot to fall.
And that right there for Roselle Catholic, a good transition to get to the other side of the court, but just couldn't get the shot to go and the foul.
Now Akil Watson back to the line to shoot two. Also, that's the second foul on Darius Adams, so something to keep an eye on here in this first half.
Now, I mentioned how good Akil Watson has been this year from the free throw line coming into this game. 9 of 16 from that line and getting more opportunities here in this first quarter.
He's 3 of 5 right now. Sebastian Robinson will check in for Akil if he makes this second free throw. He can't, so he's 3 of 6 from the line. The rebound's loose underneath. Pierre-Louis can't finish on the rebound, and then a foul underneath as Pierre-Louis was falling on top of Jack Dellinger. And I think they're going to get Pierre-Louis with the foul.
Yeah, and you can hear immediately the crowd reaction, especially that student section by where Roselle Catholic is taking their shots, of reacting to everything as possible.
So with 2 fouls, Christian Pierre-Louis checks out. Akil Watson also checks out. Sebastian Robinson and Jalen Grant come into the game.
You mentioned to Kevin just a minute ago, keep an eye on the fouls, especially early in this game. You don't want to rack them all up now.
Darius Adams and Christian Pierre-Louis, both with 2 fouls. Pierre-Louis to the bench. Adams stays on the floor for Manasquan. Tied up at 15 with 1:30 to play here in the first quarter. Lindstrom finds Kanov in the corner. His 3, too strong. Rebound tapped around into the hands of Lindstrom. Sends it back out for Adams.
Good control there by Adams to get that back in.
Detlinger. The hand for Adams, gets trapped on the sideline, trying to throw it off the body of Mbako. Detlinger fights for it on the deck, and it's a tie-up, a jump ball, and the arrow keeps it with Manasquan. Quinn Peters comes in. Jack Detlinger with a couple of good early minutes. He'll go to the bench for the Blue Warriors. Adams doubled. Peters with Briscoe on him. Frauenheim was calling for it, but it was stolen away by Roselle Catholic. Here comes Wilcher in transition. Nice feed down low to Mbako. He couldn't handle it.
And you just mentioned doubling it, Darius Adams, and he's had the hot hand for this Manasquan team as of late and in these recent games. That's a good idea by Roselle Catholic to cover and double cover their number 1 man right now.
Well, this game living up to the hype here early on through the first 8 minutes. We're tied at 15. See if Manasquan wants to hold for the final shot of this first half. Doesn't look like as Adams throws up a wild shot, no good. And Mbako got his hands on the rebound, but then it was knocked out of bounds off Quinn Peters. It'll go to the Lions.
And if you're Manasquan here coming into this game, you know how good Roselle Catholic is and the ability that they have to get those rebounds. If you want to get a chance to stay in this game as they have so far, you got to get those rebounds and you got to keep the ball in your hands and stop turning it over.
Manasquan back in their zone. Simeon Wilcher and Mackenzie Mbako have been quiet. There's a lob up top for Briscoe, and he's fouled. Briscoe upset that he couldn't convert on the nice feed from Mbako, but the Roselle Catholic junior forward's going to go to the line for 2.
And that would have been a highlight reel play.
Fouls on Mike Flanagan, his first. Team's 5th already here in this first quarter. Briscoe can put Roselle Catholic back on top, and he does. And Akil Watson comes back in. Simeon Wilcher goes to the bench.
The ability of Briscoe, you look at the rebounds for him and how much he could jump and how high he gets to get those rebounds this year. He's got 14 already this season.
Yeah, Briscoe's one of the dirty guys on this Roselle Catholic team. He does a lot of the things that might not get the headlines as Mbako the offensive rebound, but Briscoe certainly vital to the success of Roselle Catholic. Mbako no good on the turnaround. Briscoe the board, finds Mbako, driving to the lane, wave it off, offensive foul.
And again, just this Manasquan defense staying in there, playing tough to get these fouls called on this Roselle Catholic offense.
That'll be an N1 next year for Mbako, as Lindstrom took the charge right underneath the basket. In college, that would be in the restricted area, and they counted in the foul. In high school, it's a charge. 3 at the horn for Alex Konev to put an exclamation point on an outstanding 8 minutes for Manasquan.
And that's how you end the first quarter, a beautiful shot, and that's how you get your team in the lead headed into the second quarter. What an opportunity for Manasquan to finish that off.
18-16, the Big Blue Warriors on top of Roselle Catholic. Don't go anywhere. An instant classic is brewing here down the shore.
Yeah. They hate when you elevate.
say. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. Way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling.
(18-16) Manasquan on top of Roselle Catholic here at the Jersey Shore at Manasquan High School. I'm Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Matt Kaufman, Joseph Henry on our coverage as well. Matt, what an outstanding opening 8 minutes from both these teams.
Yeah, you said it, the outstanding just at that last buzzer to get that big shot in. Both teams early in this game have really controlled the rim for these guys, and that's what they got to continue. The offensive standpoint for these two teams, 18-16, it's shaping up to be a really good one today.
Well, you look at the star players we highlighted coming into this game. Mackenzie Mbako, Simeon Wilcher, both scoreless for Roselle Catholic. Darius Adams scoreless for Manasquan, but Ryan Frauenheim, 3 3-pointers in that first quarter to have 11 points on the afternoon so far.
Yeah, you mentioned the not scoring for the big stars. That's been a good job for this Manasquan defense to keep them out of the basket.
That pass lands in the first row. Wilcher was trying to find Tariq Watson.
And you could tell Manasquan is pumped for this game and continuing the high energy today.
Momentum they took into the end of the first quarter on the buzzer beating 3 by Alex Konev. They'll get it right back and feed down low to Linstra. Linstra backs his way into the paint, finds Adams on the drive. Shut down there by Watson. It's a Manasquan team that has lost 2 games this year as Konev tries another 3.
And you know, for a bigger guy that Konev is, he is able to drain those big buckets for this Manasquan team, and that has really helped them in their success this season.
Wilcher answers, going all the way to the hole. It's a Manasquan team that lost to Linden and lost to St. Rose. Linden out of Union County, always a tough physical team. St. Rose, a little bit under the radar this year, but when season ends, they're going to be one of the people are going to be talking about them as one of the best teams in New Jersey. But right now, it's Roselle Catholic as the number 1 team in New Jersey. Not sure if they're going to be there when the next rankings come out. Oh, Adams shot that one from Seaside. He couldn't get it to go. It's likely that the Lions might drop to 2, given their early season struggles, and Camden is going to rise to 1. Those two teams met twice last year, once on opening day. That was in Camden's home gym, and Camden came away with the victory. And then they met in the final game of the season in the Tournament of Champions final, where Roselle Catholic topped Camden and won another TOC as Frauenheim can't control that dribble, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, and I said it earlier as well, Kevin, the turnovers for this Manasquan team. If you want to beat a team like the physical Roselle Catholic team, you got to stay away from the turnovers and hold on to the basketball.
Well, Mackenzie Mbako, looking for his first points, is going to go to the free throw line. Fouls on Griffin Linstra. 6th team foul in Manasquan, so the next one will put Roselle Catholic in the bonus. But Mbako at the line, shooting 2. Mbako misses the second, and that's a tough foul underneath. Tariq Watson on the offensive rebound got undercut, and now he's going to go to the line. We'll see if they call it in the act of shooting or on the floor. If it's on the floor, it'll be a 1-and-1, and in fact, they will say it's on the floor. It's a 1-and-1, so Tariq Watson, regardless, going to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's big for Manasquan. Keep them, you got to stay away from the fouls. We mentioned it earlier, and you mentioned it in the keys to the game, Kevin. Stay away from the fouls. You have to be away. Otherwise, this team's just going to keep racking up points with those easy foul shots.
Well, it's the second on Linstra. He's staying in the game. So Adams and Linstra both on the floor with 2 fouls as Watson's too strong on the front end. And then a foul in the backcourt on Mbako. Second foul now on Mackenzie Mbako. 5th on Roselle Catholic.
And when you're as good as Darius Adams has been, even with those 2 fouls, you keep him in there a little bit longer try and help your offense continue the momentum and keep scoring points.
Nice job to get Lindstrom free. 4-point lead for Manasquan, led by as many as 6. That one deflected away, and Bacco gets it right back. Puts it back on the deck. Lot of contact underneath, no whistle. Watson comes away with the basketball. Fade away just inside the free throw line. Akil Watson is feeling it here for Roselle Catholic in this first half. And now falling along the baseline was Lindstrom. I think they're going to wipe up the perspiration along that baseline. They'll stop the clock. Just under 5.5 remaining here before halftime.
And as they stop the clock, Kevin, I'm going to mention, we talked about the height advantage, the physical ability that this Roselle Catholic team, that's why the rebounds have been so key early in this game, and probably are going to continue throughout the rest of this game today.
Roselle Catholic now showing a bit of a zone. A 3-2 look here for the Lions with the length of Mbako at the top. That's something they can do with the Watsons down low. Try and frustrate the shooting ability of Manasquan, but Konov still gets free in the corner and has his third three.
How big has he been in this first half? Konov, you just said the third three of the half. He has been able to get these points and keep this Manasquan team in this kind of game.
Robinson answers on the other end.
That's a great response there by Roselle Catholic. Trading 3 for 3s right now.
Konov 9 points, all from beyond the arc. 2-point Manasquan lead. 4.5 to go here in the first half. Nice backdoor cut. Fahrenheim rejected by Watson, but they'll get him with a goaltend.
And these coaches not liking that call at all. You see the frustration on their faces right now on that goaltending call.
Yeah, Dave Boff not happy with the call. And now Roselle Catholic going a little bit faster than the officials want them to do so. And now looks like an issue at the scorer's table. I think they're going to reset the clock. The clock continued to roll when the ball was put in bounds. And referees went a little bit too fast or Roselle Catholic went a little bit too fast for their liking. So the clock still stands at 4:20. And it looks like they're just going to put 1 second back on the clock. So it'll be 4:21 on the clock.
Every second matters in these kind of games, Kevin.
And Bacco rises for 3. A lot of contact, no call. Couldn't get the shot to go either. Rebound tipped for Fahrenheim. Konov feeling it. Can't get that one to go. Rebound fought for underneath, and Adams is out of bounds as he tried to save it.
And you said feeling it is Konov. Keep it in that hot hand for this Manasquan team. Let them rack up the points and from deep. And this Manasquan offense, as Roselle Catholic calls the timeout, but this Roselle Catholic defense has had no answer besides that one after Konov going from deep.
28-24, Manasquan on top of Roselle Catholic. Lions call timeout. Roselle Catholic burns their first timeout of the game. Both teams with 4 timeouts remaining. Lions trailing by 4 with 4:03 to play here in the second quarter. Kevin Connolly, Matt Kaufman, Joseph Henry with you live here on the D1 Media Pro page on the National Federation of High School Sports. Manasquan, things going exactly according to the script for the Big Blue Warriors. They're shooting it. If there's a word for hotter than hot, that's what Manasquan is from distance. with Ryan Fahrenheim and Alex Conov leading the way. And Darius Adams, their star sophomore, still without a point as Tariq Watson can't get that shot to go inside.
And as long as you could get your guys going, if Darius Adams is not putting points up and you could still get the points that they've gotten, I take that as a win for Manasquan so far.
Fahrenheim on the drive, got it stripped. Watson fighting for it, comes away with the basketball. Outlet for Wilcher. Wilcher showing off the moves. Nice feed down low to Watson, who's fouled. Keel Watson's been living at the free throw line here today. He's just 3 of 6 from the stripe, but he'll have a chance for 2 more as that foul goes on Quinn Peters, his second. Watson misses another free throw. Christian Pierre-Louis comes back in. He had picked up 2 fouls in a couple of seconds back in the first quarter and quickly went to the bench as he'll give Mackenzie Mbako a breather.
You got to wonder, is that student section facing right towards it for Roselle Catholic? Is that had a little bit of an effect early in this game from the line?
Watson goes 0 for 2 from the stripe. Adams driving on Wilcher, gets it stripped by Watson, sends it off the leg of Adams, and it'll go back to Roselle Catholic.
Adams was looking for a foul there, no call. And as young as Darius Adams is, only a sophomore for this Manasquan team, he has put up some crazy numbers and really become a big part of this Big Blue Warrior offense.
In the corner, working free is Jalen Grant, 3 no good. Watson, a rebound underneath, and he's fouled on the floor. It'll be the 9th team foul on Manasquan, so still a 1-and-1 for Roselle Catholic. And it's the 3rd foul on Quinn Peters, and now he'll go to the bench to watch this final 3:06. Watson gets the front end. Watson 1 for 2, so Roselle Catholic struggling from the free throw line here today.
And that's big for a Roselle Catholic team that with these bigger guys able to rebound and get the fouls called more often than not. This is a team that you really got to be good from the free throw line to get your points.
Adams for Conniff. He and Fahrenheim have been on fire from distance. Now it's Adams, tough free throw line pull-up, and there's Darius Adams, his first points of the night.
Great shot there by Adams. Able to get points on the board finally for himself, but that's a great job offensively.
5-point lead for Roselle Catholic. Mbako and Wilcher still scoreless for the Lions. The Watsons have 16 of their 25. Akil driving, finds Tariq, finishes on the reverse.
That's a great move inside there by Tariq Watson. Kind of almost just got hit in the head, not looking at the basketball.
Tariq Watson with 10 points for Roselle Catholic. Briscoe, Mbako, Robinson will check into the next whistle for Roselle Catholic. Conov, they left him open, and they make some pay.
And that's a great job by Conov. You get left open, why not go from deep? He's been so hot from the free throw, from three-point land already today.
Watson in the corner, can't answer. Weak side rebound, Pierre-Louis. Wilcher, open, straight on, too strong. Watson, Tariq, the spin, and a foul, and he's going to the line for 2.
And another foul coming for Roselle Catholic. And we mentioned earlier, Kevin, you got to stay away from the fouls. Haven't been able to do so here in this first half.
Foul goes on Ryan Fahrenheim, his first, team's 10th. So 2 free throws the rest of the way for Roselle Catholic here for the final 92 seconds. The shooting foul regardless for Tariq Watson. Just went 1 for 2 from the stripe. He'll have 2 here, and he makes the first.
Great concentration, able to get these shots to go down with how loud it is here. We mentioned it earlier in the opening, Kevin. It is electric today here in Manasquan.
So Robinson and Mbako come back in. Pierre-Louis and Akil Watson to the bench. Rich Briscoe will come in if Tariq Watson makes this next free throw. Spins out, Mbako the offensive rebound, and Mackenzie Mbako is on the board for Roselle Catholic, and they're back within 3.
Great job by Mbako there. Get that offensive rebound and continue to put points on the board and force Manasquan to continue to score in their points today.
Roselle Catholic has a significant advantage in the rebounding totals today, but not resulting on the scoreboard, still trailing by 3. Adams has the step into the lane. That's a tough shot, and he's going to shoot free throws.
That's a good job by Adams, taking the contact all the way to the basket and getting to the line and getting an opportunity to continue to put points on the board for here from Manasquan.
So Darius Adams just has his first 2 points on a tough fadeaway minutes ago, and now he's at the free throw line, and he adds one more. So Rich Briscoe finally does come in. Tariq Watson to the bench. Griffin Linstra also checks out for Manasquan as Mike Flanagan comes back in for him, and Adams makes both free throws.
And a good job there by Adams.
And now he'll check out with his 2 fouls. Offense for defense substitution for Manasquan, as looks like that's Thomas Schnurr making his first appearance today, comes in for him.
Yeah, with the final 50 seconds left, if you're Manasquan, you don't want to continue to foul here and just let them take their shots.
And Mbako fouled on a 3. He almost got it to go, but 3 free throws upcoming for Mackenzie Mbako.
The exact opposite of what we were just talking about, that foul by Manasquan, and just given the opportunities, even though Roselle Catholic has struggled from the line today, you don't want to give these opportunities, especially if they could get hot from the line.
Second foul on Flanagan. Andrew Bilodeau going to go offense for defense and bring Adams back into the game after the second free throw. Griffin Linstra also going to come back in. Schnurr and Flanagan to the bench. One more free throw from Mbako. Shooting right into the teeth of the Manasquan student section. And that's going to be waved off. It's going to be a lane violation on Jalen Grant. So wipe off the point. No free throw, and it stays a 4-point Manasquan lead.
And you know, we mentioned earlier the issues for this Roselle Catholic team. The opportunities that they've had from the free throw line, just not able and struggling today from the line. And with that lane violation, it doesn't help too much.
See if Manasquan wants to hold for one here before halftime, and that's the instructions from the bench. It was slow things down. Roselle Catholic trying to put some pressure on and get a 5-second count. Adams picks up his dribble.
This has been a good job controlling the basketball here, holding on to it.
And now a timeout is called by Manasquan. They'll try and set something up with 11.9 seconds to go here in this second quarter. We'll step aside for one last break. Be back for the final 11.9 of the first half right after this. So back here at Manasquan, Big Blue Warriors call a timeout. They'll have 3 remaining entering the second half. They lead 35-31 against Roselle Catholic. 11.9 seconds left. 10 team fouls on Manasquan, 6 on Roselle Catholic. So Manasquan will have a 1-and-1 if the Lions foul here in these final 12 seconds.
If you're Manasquan here, I would control the basketball, hold on to it. They already got the buzzer beater in the end of the first quarter. Do you try and stick with that and continue?
Inbounds to the backcourt to Frauenheim. Frauenheim with 8. Konov in the corner. Robinson closes out on him. He gets free. A three goes down. Konov with two huge threes as the prayer is no good from Akil Watson. Manasquan has their largest lead today. It's a 7-point Big Blue Warrior advantage at the break. What a close to the end of the first and second quarters for Manasquan. Alex Konov with buzzer-beating threes at the end of the first and at the end of the second. And the Big Blue Warriors lead to Roselle Catholic by 7, 38-31 at the break.
Yeah, you mentioned those big-time threes by Konov. End of the first quarter, gave them momentum going into the second. They've continued that momentum. Then you get another one at the end of the half, even bigger, and continuing and heading into halftime with that biggest lead of the day. As you mentioned, Kevin, a 7-point lead here for the Big Blue Warriors.
So we'll step aside for a break. Manasquan with a 7-point lead on Roselle Catholic at halftime. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up right after this.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it the break.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McCartan touchdown.
Into the layup. Wins it. The championship.
Yeah. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling.
Glover, one-on-one with the basket. Oh, Jaden Glover! With the windmill to send this place into a frenzy. And
to the corner. Lawrence. No-look pass, and Wilcher lays it in.
Wilcher to the hole. Simeon Wilcher starting to heat up. He's got 4 points, and Roselle Catholic leads by 11.
Watson to his brother, and Tariq is fouled and hits it. They'll go to the line for one.
They'll pick it up, the clock will move. Lawrence with Adams on him, lost his footing, gets a shot up, and he gets it to go. At the buzzer, Jamarcus Lawrence, a big first quarter for the Nebraska commit.
You can see the future of the Duke and North Carolina rivalry on D1 Media Pro.
There you see Hubert Davis, head coach of North Carolina, here to see Simeon Wilcher.
Looking live right there at a trio of Duke basketball coaches: John Shire, Nolan Smith, Emil Jefferson. Clock now at 12. Kicks it in the corner. Lively for three. Got it. Derek Lively, a corner three. And an early third quarter. As he'll look to go off the dribble here. Goes right around Lively, and he gets the roll. Inbounds to Wilcher. A step back, fadeaway through contact. Simeon Wilcher. He's out for Mbako. He'll try one from beyond the arc. And Mackenzie Mbako is on fire to start this one. Over to Floyd, he's open, thought about the three, drives, baseline. Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd! Free throw line, tries to dump a pass off, gets intercepted. Freeman all the way to the hole. Oh, what a block by Moore! Left to play in the fourth quarter. Cromartie, three, got it! Davis probed in the corner, three-pointer, up and down, Brown again! His second straight three. Roselle Catholic in a hurry. Wilcher, back to Bueno. He's going to try and tie it. And he does! Oh, big shots all around!
He can't get around, and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through lane, down the basket!
There you go to the air again, and there. That's order. Gordon, back to pass. Gonna throw a deep ball, far side, caught! Touchdown! Nasir Addison on the reception, and Irvington jumps out on top. It's 6-0 Blue Knights. 9:01 left to go here in the first quarter.
However, from the shotgun, takes the snap. It's a passing play. Go work easy to Phillips. Phillips got a lot of yards. He's to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Nice run there by King.
He drops back. Little pressure. He comes up. He throws it deep. And it's a flag on the play along with the reception.
A lot of time to make a play.
Third down and long. There's a pass play, and it's intercepted. Eric Perez with the pick. Can he go to the house? He lost the ball. He recovered it. What's the sign?
That's Smother saying, look at him go. He just broke through the whole defense.
That's right.
He looked like he's going to take that to the house right there. That's a touchdown. He didn't even cut.
Touchdown Cougars.
That's the most dynamic play I've seen all year.
Number 3, Dylan Smith.
Martin drops back, looks left, throw.
Welcome back here to Manasquan High School, 38-31. The Big Blue Warriors leading Roselle Catholic at halftime. Kevin Connolly, Matt Kaufman, and Joseph Henry with you here on the D1 Media Pro page on the National Federation of High School Sports. And Matt, everything going according to plan for Manasquan to pull off this upset at home. Yeah, you said, and it really starts with Konov, and who has had a spectacular first half. Alex Konov with those big threes, one at the end of the first quarter, one at the end of the second quarter. We mentioned it going into the halftime break. They have really relied on him in that first half, and they got to continue to be able to put points on the board like they did in that first half and keep the lead out of the hands of Roselle Catholic. Konov has 15, Frauenheim has 13 for Manasquan. As for Roselle Catholic, it's been a slow start for Mackenzie Mbako and Simeon Wilcher. Wilcher with just 2, and Mbako with just 4. Yeah, when you want to get your top players going, and if they're not going, your team kind of relies on those superstars to get things going. If they're not going, it's not going to be the best start. And if they can't get going in this second half, I see Manasquan coming up with a big win today. Adams on the drive, working on Watson. He traveled. Adams changed his pivot foot as he tried to reverse back to the basket, and a turnover on the first possession of the second half for Manasquan. And if you're Manasquan, you fouled a lot in the first half. You got to stay away from fouling and the turnovers to give Roselle Catholic any opportunities more than what they could shoot at. That's a tough long 2 for Mbako, and he misses everything. And that ball thrown right into the Manasquan bench, but they'll say it was deflected and it'll stay with the Warriors. Good job there by that Roselle Catholic defense, though, to try and poke it out and give their offense back an opportunity to get back at the basket. It was Frauenheim who had the hot hand in the first quarter. Konov in the second got that one stripped by Robinson, and it's out of bounds. It'll go to Roselle Catholic, so back-to-back turnovers for Manasquan here in the third quarter. Yeah, you just mentioned those two names, Konov and Frauenheim. If you want to continue the momentum that you had, you got to keep these guys hot. And if you could do that, this Manasquan team could continue to put up the amount of points that they did in that first half. The Manasquan zone has really stifled Roselle Catholic, and Mbako misses another 3. As that's out of bounds, they'll say last touch off Mbako. It'll go to Manasquan. And you said Kevin Mbako, who hasn't been off to the best start today. He's got to get going for this Roselle Catholic team in this second half. This is the largest lead for Manasquan today on the 3 from Konov that took us into halftime. They led by 6 in that first half, but the 7-point lead on the three-pointer is their largest advantage in this game. Lindström driving baseline, gives it up. They lost Konov again. This time his 3 is no good. Rebound tapped around. They'll say it was last off Mbako. And you mentioned wide open again. Konov, who's had a hot hand. You got to be able to cover him deep. Adams at the top of the arc. Tried to create contact. No whistle. Couldn't get the shot to fall. Simeon Wilcher back down the other end of the floor. Finds Robinson, his three-pointer, and Sebastian Robinson opens the scoring 2 minutes into this third quarter. And that's big for Robinson to get off to the hot start. You kind of had your offense down. A lot of shots came from the free throw line. If you could get from behind the arc and help your offense, that's always a big thing, especially for this Roselle Catholic team playing on the road. Robinson has 6 points, all on three-pointers. And Mbako, the good closeout, forced the miss. Long rebound controlled by Lindström. Adams pulls it again tries to create contact, not going to get that call, and that's out of bounds off Manasquan. And you can see it right away, just the height advantage we mentioned a bunch of times in the first half, able to get those rebounds and give your opportunities back to your offense for Roselle Catholic. The Watsons play catch, Akil's 3, and Roselle's back within 1. Why not go brother-to-brother connection, passing it around and then getting that big 3. The Watsons have 22 of the 37 Roselle Catholic points. Manasquan scoreless 3 minutes into this third quarter. That's a big-time shot there from Watson, controlling the offense and bringing this team back to within 1. 38-37. Manasquan hasn't had anything offensively here in this third quarter. Couple of tough three-point attempts from Darius Adams. Conniff also missed a wide-open corner three. Squan really slowing things down offensively here in this third quarter as Roselle Catholic turns up the defensive pressure. Adams again on an isolation, working on Akeel Watson, gets into the lane, kicks out for Conniff. Conniff again on the drive and finds Fahrenheim. Nothing going for Manasquan. This is where no shot clock in the state of New Jersey really plays a factor.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to give your opportunity to your offense, and with no shot clock, it definitely helps out, as you mentioned, Kevin.
And the patience is a rejection from Tariq Watson at the rim.
Great job by Watson there. Keep the ball out of the net. That's your goal, of course. And holding a 1-point lead for Manasquan, you got to get something going offensively.
Quinn Peters and his third 3 fouls comes back into the game. He didn't start this second half because of foul trouble. But Manasquan still with another possession. Adams works free off a screen and can't get the roll off the rim. Rebound fought for underneath. Ball's loose. It comes into the hands of Conniff. Adams can't get it to go. And Watson finally corrals for Roselle Catholic.
Even with that miss there from Adams, that was still a great job offensively.
Wilcher had Mbako wide open at the free throw line but couldn't get it to him. Wilcher now on the drive, and he stepped out of bounds before he passed the ball to Akeel Watson.
And that would have been a big-time shot for Watson. It would have given this Roselle Catholic team the lead if he didn't step out there.
So Manasquan again back with the basketball. Fast-moving third quarter with how patient they've been offensively. They lead by 1. They've still yet to score in this third quarter. All 6 points for Roselle Catholic.
You mentioned coming into the second half with a 7-point lead, the largest lead of the day for Manasquan. Haven't been able to add on to it, and only holding 1 right now.
Roselle Catholic not applying any pressure defensively to try and get a 5-second count. Another possession, upwards of 30 seconds here for the Big Blue Warriors.
If you're Manasquan and you're holding the basketball, controlling it right now, you can't afford a turnover.
Well, Roselle Catholic tries to trap into the corner. Offensive foul. On the drive was Lindstrom, and it was Mbako who stepped in to take the charge.
And if you're Manasquan, you're struggling to score points offensively. Now you got to lock down on defense.
So the third foul on Griffin Lindstrom. Quinn Peters with 3 fouls, back to the bench for Manasquan. Christian Pierre-Louis in for Akeel Watson.
And they want to wipe down the floor here.
Yeah, that's what the referee motioning to the Manasquan bench. They said a towel. They want to wipe up that sweat that came off the floor after the charge from Mbako.
I don't know if wiping the shoes is going to help too much.
Tough to believe that there's not a towel around that somebody can use. But Wilcher, Robinson, and the official used their feet to try and clean up that sweat. Still nobody able to get a towel. Now I think they finally just tracked one down from the Manasquan locker room. They're going to bring it back out, but a bit too late because the ball's going to go back in play. Wilcher, nice feed down low to Tariq Watson. Ball gets poked away. Watson into the lane. The big body of Tariq Watson puts Roselle Catholic back on top.
Great job there by Watson. Your team came into the second half trailing by 7, and now you're up by 1.
And Darius Adams turns it over again, stepping on the baseline.
And if there's something to look at right here for Manasquan, you haven't been able to score offensively. You can't turn the ball over. You gotta force Roselle Catholic to play defense.
It's an 8-0 run for Roselle Catholic coming out of the halftime locker room.
Great adjustments here to start the second half from Roselle Catholic.
Simeon Wilcher, a big 3.
And they continue the momentum. That's a big shot from Wilcher.
2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Simeon Wilcher has given Roselle Catholic a 4-point lead. Manasquan still yet to score in this third quarter, and a timeout called by the Warriors. Roselle Catholic on a mission coming out of the halftime locker room. They now lead at 42-38 with 1:52 to play here in the third. (42-38), Roselle Catholic on top. The Lions coming out of the locker room with a burst of energy to turn a 7-point deficit into a 4-point lead, an 11-0 run for Roselle Catholic, who trailed 38-31 at the break. And Manasquan now down to just 2 timeouts for the rest of this game after burning one here to try and run something on offense to get a bucket.
Yeah, that's big. Calling those timeouts. Only 2 remaining, as you just mentioned, Kevin. That's something that you want to control a little better, your timeouts. Yes, you haven't been able to score, but you got to get something going offensively. I think it's a good timeout, but not when you only have 2 left.
Manasquan still has not scored in this third quarter. And Adams gets double-teamed, and he stepped out of bounds. The turnovers piling up for Manasquan here in this third quarter.
And the difference from what Manasquan did in the first half to what they've so far done in the second half, it's turned the ball over. They were great offensively in the first half, the 38 points, and from being able to shoot from deep, haven't had anything going here offensively.
Wilcher just hit a big 3-pointer to put Roselle Catholic up by 4, and then a whistle and a jump ball as Fahrenheim races down the other end of the floor. The arrow keeps it with Roselle Catholic. And the crowd voicing their displeasure with that call.
And Fahrenheim said the same thing. He does not agree at all. You can see the look on his face and everybody else here at Manasquan High School today.
And now Roselle Catholic not ready to inbound the basketball, and the referee just put it on the baseline and started his 5 count. Pierre-Louis to inbound to Grant. Now it's Wilcher. Wilcher kicks. Grant, a 3. No good. Rich Briscoe, the offensive rebound and the putback.
And you can tell a little more excitement from that Roselle Catholic bench and the crowd here supporting Roselle Catholic today than what they had in that first half.
Lions now have their largest lead today at 6 with a minute to play here in the third quarter.
A complete turnaround from what we saw in the first half from these two teams.
13-0 is the score here in this third quarter. Fahrenheim tried to draw contact on Mbako. He comes away with the pack, and he's fouled in the backcourt as he tried to fling the ball up to Wilcher. Roselle Catholic wants an intentional foul called. I don't think they're going to get that whistle, though. They'll just call it a common foul in the backcourt on Fahrenheim. But I understand what Roselle Catholic wanted there with the intentional foul call, because that would have been, or even a clear path foul call, because that was an easy 2 down the other end for the Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. In a game like this, how important it is when you got off struggling in the first half, and now you're in this second half able to put up the points.
Briscoe can't convert on the dunk. Ball knocked away from Grant, and then a foul as Adams trying to split a couple defenders.
And Fahrenheim wanted a foul just a couple of moments ago, but they said no offensive foul. And you can hear the crowd's displeasure with some of these calls from these referees today.
.30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Manasquan still looking for their first points of the third quarter. It's a 13-0 Roselle Catholic run.
Whatever adjustments were made in the locker room for Roselle Catholic has really paid off.
Adams loses his shoe. It's at midcourt. Conev with 13 finds Linstra, and now we get a whistle. It'll be officials' timeout for Adams to put his shoe back on, and the Roselle Catholic bench not happy with that whistle. Typically, you're only able to stop play if you're an official for a timeout or an injury. but they blow the whistle to give Darius Adams a chance to put his shoe back on. I don't know if I've ever seen that before for a non-injury.
I haven't either, Kevin. And, that honestly for Manasquan could be an opportunity if they could get the ball on the other side of the court and back in their own opportunity. This is a team that hasn't scored, we mentioned a few times.
There's the steal. Wilcher up ahead with 2. He shoots. Good if it goes. No good. Oh, that would have been huge for Simeon Wilcher. But Roselle Catholic, a 13-0 third quarter, and they lead 44-38 at the end of 3. This game has completely flipped on its head, and we have 8 minutes left to play in regulation. Don't go anywhere. Fourth quarter coming up right after this.
Like family.
44-38, Roselle Catholic leads Manasquan. 8 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Kevin Connolly, Matt Kaufman, Joe Henry here from the Jersey Shore. And what a third quarter for Roselle Catholic. It's a 13-0 run out of the locker room for the Lions. And Matt getting it done defensively against this Manasquan hot shooting offense.
Yeah, you said it. A 7-point lead at the end of the half for Manasquan. They had nothing all third quarter. That's how good, and the adjustments that Roselle Catholic made coming into the second half. Can they continue that in this fourth quarter and roll into victory against this Manasquan team that looked really sharp in the first half?
It'll be Manasquan basketball to start this fourth quarter. Still looking at for their first points of the second half. And incredible to say that if there's a foul on a reach on Akeel Watson. I mean, this Manasquan offense was firing on all cylinders in the first half. But, Matt, we talked about it a little bit as that third quarter came to a close. It seemed like Manasquan was trying to take the air out of the basketball way too soon in this game.
Yeah, you said it. They were trying to take the air out. They have to give an opportunity for their offense to get going. Now you have 2 timeouts with 7:50 and counting to go left in this fourth quarter. You weren't able to put any points up in the third quarter. You got to get something going offensively, and you got to get the ball to the basket.
Adams, a 3, and he's fouled, though. Watson thought he got the ball, but Darius Adams going to the free throw line for 3 shots on what could be a huge turning point in this game.
Yeah, and we mentioned it a few moments ago. Haven't been able to score. Can going to the free throw line help this Manasquan team turn everything around and what they've had in a huge second half struggle so far?
And Adams makes the first free throw. That gives Manasquan their first point of this second half at the 7:39 mark of the fourth quarter. So nearly 8.5 minutes Manasquan went scoreless.
And if you're Darius Adams, the young Darius Adams, can you control this and get your team back into this game, now only trailing by 4?
And he goes 2 for 3 at the stripe.
Now you got to play defense if you're Manasquan here.
Wilcher with a head of steam. Nice find for Akeel Watson. Blocked from behind, got his own miss, and then he's fouled.
And Manasquan, you can't go back to fouling as much as you did in the first half. We saw it in that first half with a bunch of off-defensive fouls by Manasquan. You can't let Roselle Catholic go to the line and get those easier shots.
Well, that's the 4th foul on Quinn Peters, 3rd team foul. So we'll see what Manasquan wants to do here with Peters. It looks like for the time being, they're going to leave him out there on the floor, trailing by 4 and 7.5 to play, as the free throw is missed by Akeel Watson. He has struggled from the line today.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Kevin, struggling from the line for Watson. Every time you get a chance to get those easier shots, I won't say any shot is easy, but you have an easier opportunity to get from the free throw line. You got to get those to knock down.
So Watson makes the second, and now it's a 5-point Lion lead. Each team with 3 team fouls, so neither close to the bonus yet. Fahrenheim Sends it back out for Lindstra. Lindstra driving, threw it off Watson, and Wilcher comes away with it. All the way up for Akil Watson, stays in bounds, tried to drop it off for Mbako, but good recovery defense from Darius Adams to knock it out of bounds.
And again, another turnover by this Manasquan offense.
And a timeout called by Roselle Catholic. 7:07 left to play here in the fourth. The Lions with a 5-point lead over the Big Blue Warriors.
Yeah, they hate when you elevate. It's stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling.
Welcome back here to Manasquan High School. 45-40 is our score. Roselle Catholic in front of Manasquan. I'm Kevin Connolly, joined alongside Matt Kaufman, Joseph Henry on camera for us here this afternoon. And still two more big games to come on our D1 Media Pro Page networks this afternoon. Starting at about 4 o'clock up in Jersey City is an HCIAL boys matchup between St. Peter's Prep and Union City. Renato Rodriguez and Ben Novosioluk will have our coverage of this one. And then I am off to Newark for a game on the main ice in the Prudential Center. Joseph Henry, Zach Zweibel will join me for that one as St. Peter's Prep plays in their homecoming game on the main ice inside the Prudential Center against Paramus Catholic. Face-off scheduled for 6 o'clock, so make sure to stick around for those two games coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. Roselle Catholic calls a timeout, and they'll inbound from the baseline with 7:05 to go here in the fourth quarter. Sebastian Robinson, bullet pass. Oh, Watson got free! Two-hand stuff.
And that's how you come right out of a timeout, slam it down in the faces of this Manasquan team that really has struggled in this second half.
7-point lead for Roselle Catholic. Frauenheim kicks for Adams. They need this three. They can't get it. Rebound tipped by Mbako, and Robinson comes out of the pack with it. Outlet pass up for Tariq. Finds his brother Akil. One more for Wilcher. The ball movement cannot result in a three, and Watson's out of bounds as he came down with the offensive board.
And that's big. Don't let Roselle Catholic score. It's a 7-point game right now. You have a chance to come back. 6:31 left. You got to be able to put points up if you're Manasquan and also play defense.
The Manasquan offense that was so hot in that first half has gone ice cold.
If you're Manasquan, I say you got to get Konov going here in this fourth quarter. He was your hot hand in the first half.
See if that gets Adams going, as he has two. He's got all 4 points for Manasquan here in this second half. Watson from the corner can answer on the three. Quick possession there for Roselle Catholic. Adams from Seaside cannot get the roll, and then it went off the clock on top of the scoreboard, out of bounds to the Lions.
And if I'm Adams there, I don't know why you would go from that deep. You have an opportunity inside.
Robinson, his three-pointer short. Frauenheim might have gotten a fingertip on it. Robinson gets it right back. Reverse layup, no good. Tipped out of bounds, and that goes off the hands of Tariq Watson.
A little frustration there from Tariq Watson. Wanted another chance at that ball and to take another chance at that shot.
5:45 to play here in the fourth. Roselle Catholic with 3 timeouts. Manasquan with 2. Both teams with 3 team fouls apiece. Christian Pierre-Louis will check in at the next whistle for Roselle Catholic. Konov has had the hot hand, can't get that to go, and the rebound tip to Simeon Wilcher. Wilcher looking to run. Wilcher all the way to the hole, and he's going to the free throw line. So Simeon Wilcher, who hit a big three-pointer for Roselle Catholic to put them up by 4 in that third quarter, is going to go back to the free throw line, looking to add 2 more. Wilcher, the senior North Carolina signee, makes the first free throw. Rich Briscoe and Christian Pierre-Louis come in for the Watson brothers. So it'll be Wilcher, Mbako, Briscoe, Robinson, and Pierre-Louis on the floor for Roselle Catholic. For Manasquan, they're still rolling with their starting 5 of Adams, Frauenheim, Lindstra, Peters, and Konov. trailing now by 6. As Wilcher misses the free throw, and Mbako called for an over the back.
And more struggles from the free throw line, as we mentioned it previously in this game, Kevin. You got to be able to get from the line to add on to this lead of 6 right now here for Roselle Catholic.
Yeah, it's been an ugly game from the free throw line for Roselle Catholic. A numerous amount of misses, also a lane violation on one of their makes. Kanov, a big 3 in the corner.
And now if you're Manasquan, you got to continue that momentum and play defense and get your team back in this game, only trailing now by 3.
They're back within a possession, and then a blocking foul on Darius Adams. It'll be the 4th team foul on Manasquan. As for Adams, that'll be his 3rd. So a good job for Darius Adams staying out of foul trouble after picking up those 2 early fouls in the first quarter, and he stayed on the floor, so he's done a good job defensively here over the final 16 minutes or so of this game.
Yeah, you said it. Very good job.
Briscoe worked free, and the 2-hand stuff. I don't know if that pass was intended for him, but it worked free as Conniff tries again, and Conniff's starting to heat up.
Bringing it to a 2-point game, and that's a huge 3 from Conniff.
And Mbako, the answer, yes! Oh, the shot making off the charts here down the shore, down the stretch. And Pierre-Louis will get called for the foul.
And his facial expression shows it all. Does not agree with that. After this, both of these two teams had some momentum going there.
I think it's the right call, though, because when Adams stopped on the dime, Pierre-Louis went for the steal, and he hit him in the back. 3rd foul on Pierre-Louis, both teams with 5 team fouls. The shots that these two teams have made here over the past minute or so of this 4th quarter have been off the charts. Pierre-Louis, the best defensive player for Roselle Catholic, collides with Adams. Adams created the contact. There's no whistle. Wilcher Euros into the lane. Offensive foul. Roselle Catholic can't believe the call.
You can hear how loud it is and how much energy has come around since the end of that 3rd quarter when Kanov started to get going. That's how big this game is, especially for both of these two teams.
4:17 left to play in the 4th. Crowd, sold out crowd, I should add. Couldn't be more into it. Almost feels like a college basketball atmosphere here in the Manasquan High School gym. They'll wipe off the floor for the perspiration inside the lane. 53-48 is the score. That was the 6th team foul on Roselle Catholic. First on Wilcher. So next one will put Manasquan at the line.
If you're Manasquan here, you're getting a chance with the basketball. You got to get it to go down.
3 timeouts left for Roselle Catholic, 2 for Manasquan. Roselle Catholic going to pick up full court.
Tight defense here from Roselle Catholic, trying to avoid giving Manasquan any chance of offense.
Fahrenheim with Wilcher on him. Alex Kanov with 21 points for Manasquan. Fahrenheim with 13, but 11 of them came in the first quarter. Now it's Lindstrom finding Kanov with Briscoe on him. Good defense there by Rich Briscoe. And now a foul. They're going to get it on Pierre-Louis or Wilcher. Whoever it goes on, it'll be free throws for Manasquan and a 1-and-1 for Darius Adams. And it's on Pierre-Louis. That's his 4th.
And that's big for Adams. Get your guy who's really good from the free throw line and able to put up a whole bunch of points. Get him to the line and get an opportunity to come back in this game right now with a 53-48 disadvantage for Manasquan.
So a 1-and-1 for Darius Adams, who has 8 points here today. 4th foul on Christian Pierre-Louis, 7th on Roselle Catholic, and Adams misses a big front end of the 1-and-1. Wilcher driving. Kicks out Mbako, passes up on the 3, drives into the lane, and the finish off the window for Mackenzie Mbako.
Height advantage right there for Mbako, big time. Just getting right up to that lane and into the basket to extend their lead.
Quiet 3 quarters from the Duke signee, but Mackenzie Mbako with 5 huge points here in this 4th quarter. 3:15 to play. Roselle Catholic up by 7. Lindstra tiptoeing the sideline, backcourt violation on Manasquan.
And a little bit of frustration starting to build here for Manasquan. again turning the basketball over.
So Wilcher will inbound from the sideline for Roselle Catholic, leading by 7 with 3:08 to play here in the fourth. Wilcher drives, kicks. Robinson fake the three. Wilcher will take the three. And Wilcher's got something to say to the Manasquan crowd. It's a 10-point Roselle Catholic lead.
Big time shot there by Wilcher. And exactly what you wanted if you're Roselle Catholic.
Darius Adams pulls it back out. Manasquan doesn't have a lot of time. Under 3 minutes to go. Frauenheim, this would be a big three. He's got it. Ryan Frauenheim finding his shooting stroke at the right time as Manasquan calls timeout. 7-point game, 2:31 to go in the fourth. Don't go anywhere. This one going close down the stretch between Roselle Catholic and Manasquan. Manasquan down to 1 timeout remaining here in the final 2.5 minutes of this game. 58-51 is our score. Roselle Catholic on top of the Big Blue Warriors. And Matt, it's really been the play of Simeon Wilcher and Mackenzie Mbako coming down the stretch that have expanded upon this lead for the Lions.
Yeah, two guys, especially Mbako, who really struggled in the first half, unable to really get anything going offensively in the first half. His defense was a little shaky as well, but really coming up big when this Roselle Catholic team needs him the most.
So Manasquan picking up full court out of the timeout, trailing by 7. They try to feed Mbako. He couldn't handle the pass from Robinson. Manasquan gets the turnover they were looking for. Adams with the lane to the basket. Offensive foul. Mackenzie Mbako takes his second charge of this second half.
Big body ability right there for Mbako. Just take the foul and give your team the ball back.
Looks like they're looking for another towel to wipe up the sweat after Mbako went down to the ground with Adams. Now that's the 4th foul on Darius Adams with 2:18 to play. So they'll wipe up the floor underneath the Manasquan basket.
Student checks section helping him out a little bit, telling him where to wipe it up.
(58-51) Roselle Catholic on top of Manasquan. They trailed by 7 at halftime. But Matt, it was a 13-0 third quarter that Roselle Catholic's going to look back on as the difference if they come out victorious in this game.
Absolutely, able to get those points going in that third quarter when Manasquan was unable to put anything on the board. That's what has really been the difference. If Manasquan, I think, was able to continue.
Akil Watson underneath off the assist from Wilcher.
Continue to what they were doing in the first half and putting points on the board. This game may be a little bit closer than a 9-point game as it is right now.
Roselle Catholic's largest lead today was 10. Frauenheim can't get the deep 3 to go. Mbako outlet pass to Watson. Now to Wilcher. Driving, pulling up from the free throw line, left it short. Rich Briscoe on the offensive rebound.
What a second half it's been here for Wilcher.
And a timeout called by Roselle Catholic. They have their largest lead tonight. It's an 11-point lead for the Lions with 1:42 to play here in the fourth quarter. 1:42 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Roselle Catholic calls timeout, leading 62-51 against Manasquan. Kevin Connolly, Matt Kaufman, Joseph Henry with you live here from Manasquan High School. And it was a Manasquan offense that could not do anything wrong in that first half. But in the second half, Roselle Catholic clamping down defensively, Matt, and really the 13-0 run to begin the third quarter has spurred them on now to an 11-point advantage with 102 seconds left to go here in the fourth.
Yeah, I mentioned it, Kevin. At the end of that third quarter, Manasquan, as you said, was unable to really miss in that first half. Whatever adjustment was made at halftime by this Roselle Catholic coaching staff to the defense has really paid off here late in this game, and if they continue to do what they've done defensively against Manasquan, they could wind up coming out here with a W in this monster game.
It was Akil and Tariq Watson that led Roselle Catholic in the first half, but it has been the play of this fourth quarter of Simeon Wilcher and Mackenzie Mbako hitting clutch shot after clutch shot to continue to expand upon this Lions lead. And there's Mbako on the rejection on Conniff's three-point attempt. Oh man, are they going to love this kid in Durham next year.
Absolutely. You know, he has made such an impact. He may have struggled shooting the basketball, but defensively, let me tell you, those big hands, they've really helped him out here.
Adams on the drive, and he converts on Mbako, counted in the foul.
Good job there by Adams. Going right to the basket, and he looks a little shaken up maybe.
So Adams going to the line for a chance for three. It's also the fourth foul on Mackenzie Mbako. So Mbako with 4 fouls and Pierre Louis on the bench with 4 fouls for Roselle Catholic. Darius Adams with 4 fouls alongside Quinn Peters for Manasquan. Peters on the bench for the Squan as Adams converts on the three-point play and makes it an 8-point game with 1:23 to play.
And that's something we've seen the difference between these two teams, the ability to shoot from the free throw line. It's been a much better day for Manasquan than it has been for Roselle Catholic.
Wilcher trying to get free in the backcourt. He streaks to the ball and runs up into the front court. Robinson open, driving to the basket, dumps it off for Akil Watson, and he will thunder it home with 2 hands.
The height and strength ability of Watson.
Three-pointer, other end, it goes down from Detlinger, and a timeout is called by Manasquan. That's their final timeout of the game. 64-57, 1:02 to play. Don't go anywhere yet. Big Blue Warriors looking for a miracle comeback here on January 2nd down the shore. Manasquan burns their final timeout of this game. There's 62 seconds left to play. Roselle Catholic with a 7-point lead on the latest three-pointer from Manasquan by Jack Detlinger. It'll be Wilcher, Mbako, Akil Watson, Sebastian Robinson, and Tariq Watson coming out of the huddle for Roselle Catholic after the Warriors timeout. We'll see who takes the floor for Manasquan when they break their huddle on the sideline. You would imagine it'll be Darius Adams, Ryan Frauenheim, Jack Detlinger also back out on the floor after that three-point attempt, Alex Konov, and Griffin Lindstrom. So those are the 10 players on the floor. Just 16 fouls on Manasquan, so the next one would put Roselle Catholic at the line. Watson hands right back to Robinson. Big Blue Warriors not fouling yet. Mbako holding the basketball. Robinson works free down low, misses the layup. The follow, no good. A third attempt goes off his hands, and it goes to Manasquan.
Big miss there by Roselle Catholic, trying to, with the final 47 seconds left.
Peters and Pierre Louis come back in. They both have 4 fouls for their respective teams. Frauenheim with Robinson on him. 40 seconds to play. Frauenheim to the basket, picks up his dribble, finds Adams. Manasquan's got to go. They're down 7. Adams a deep 3, too strong. Pierre Louis the rebound. Out to Wilcher. Wilcher at half court, dribbles through a triple team. Wilcher to the basket. Oh, he missed the dunk. The ball's loose. Robinson comes away with it, and he's fouled.
It looked like Manasquan was running away from the basketball there instead of trying to pick it up and put some points on the board.
Simeon Wilcher was going for a dunk of the year candidate had he flushed that one home, but he punched it off the back iron, came all the way back out the half court, and how about the hustle from Sebastian Robinson to track down the loose ball and get fouled.
Now Roselle Catholic has to convert this big shot here as they do.
The front end of the 1-and-1 for Robinson goes down with 24.5 seconds left on the clock. And Robinson goes 2 for 2. That might do it. It's a 9-point game with under 30 seconds to play. What a comeback from Roselle Catholic. From down 7 at halftime, they now lead by 9 in the final 20 seconds as that turnaround fadeaway goes in for Lindstra. Manasquan can't stop the clock with no timeouts, but they'll foul Wilcher, and Simeon Wilcher going to go to the free throw line to put this game on ice with 7.6 seconds remaining.
You mentioned it, Kevin. What a comeback by Roselle Catholic here in this second half. Came into the second half trailing by 7. 2 big momentum swings for Manasquan at the end of the first quarter and the end of the second quarter with those buzzer beaters, but it has not phased Roselle Catholic here in this second half.
And Wilcher gets the front end of the 1-and-1 to go. What a second half from Simeon Wilcher. Two for 2 from the line from the future Tar Heel. Now with 6 seconds, Fahrenheim steps into a 3. No good. Wilcher will add another rebound to his stat line, and that will do it. The comeback complete from Roselle Catholic. They win this one 68-59 against Manasquan.
What a comeback by Roselle Catholic. That second half, start of the second half when Manasquan was unable to put any points offensively on the board, really changed the game for Roselle Catholic to able to come out with a win today.
The Watsons led the way in terms of scoring. Akil with 18, Tariq with 13. Simeon Wilcher adding 11 points to his stat line, 9 of them coming in the second half, and he hit big 3 after big 3 and then iced the game at the free throw line in the final minute or so. Mackenzie Mbako also played outstanding in that fourth quarter for Roselle Catholic to get this victory. Let's look on the opposite side for Manasquan. I mean, what a game from Alex Konov. He was scorching from beyond the arc, especially in that first half, ending with 21 points, but just wasn't enough for Manasquan to come away with the victory, and Ryan Fahrenheim with 16 points.
Yeah, you said it, Kevin. You know, when your guys are able to put up 21 points and 16 points, it is really an opportunity for these two teams that are Manasquan had everything going the way that they wanted it to, but just unable to finish it and extend what they were doing in that first half and follow it over to the second half.
Well, after Roselle Catholic started the year on a 3-game losing streak, they now have won back-to-back games against 2 really good New Jersey teams in the Patrick School and Manasquan. They'll go back home for their home opener this weekend. They'll play Arts on Thursday, and then on Saturday they'll play Montclair Immaculate in another top 20 showdown. For Joseph Henry and Matt Kaufman, I'm Kevin Connolly. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of New Jersey High School basketball right here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. A reminder to stay tuned. In about an hour from now, St. Peter's Prep in Union City tipping off from Jersey City, and at 6 o'clock it's St. Peter's Prep and Paramus Catholic ice hockey from the main ice in Newark in the Prudential Center. Once again, your final score: Roselle Catholic 68, Manasquan 59. I'm Kevin Connolly signing off here from the Jersey Shore. Happy New Year to all you watching at home. Roselle Catholic picks up their second victory in a row.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it the break.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch.